Imagine, if you will, waking up one day to find your daughter isn't just a princess in your eyes, but in the bank balance too. With a net worth that leaves Silicon Valley tycoons contemplating a career change, Princess Charlotte of the United Kingdom has garnered a name that doesn't just evoke tiaras. It should also conjure up images of stock portfolios and investment funds. From trust funds that rival small nations' GDPs to merchandise deals that outstrip adult celebrities, Princess Charlotte is redefining what it means to be young and staggeringly wealthy. In today's episode of Old Money Luxury, we're peeling back the layers of privilege, power, and, let's not kid ourselves, plenty of pounds sterling, as we describe the life and times of Princess Charlotte, the world's richest kid. In the corridors of power and privilege, where lineage often dictates influence, few youngsters have captivated the global stage quite like Princess Charlotte of Cambridge. Born in 2015 to William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, as we'll see in a moment, Charlotte isn't just another adorable toddler. She's a pint-sized economic powerhouse. Yet, of course, Charlotte isn't alone in her youthful opulence. Flashback to 17th century France, where a 4-year-old King Louis XIV, better known as the Sun King, took the throne. A toddler with a palace worth roughly $2 billion in today's currency, Louis XIV was no stranger to extravagance. But his influence had a darker side. His affluence was steeped in autocratic power and less than egalitarian practices. And across the waters in the glitzy corridors of Monaco, Prince Jacques, another toddler of note, has his eyes set on the Monegasque throne. Born a year before Princess Charlotte, Jacques' net worth isn't quite in the same league, but his impact isn't negligible. Like Charlotte, Jacques derives his influence from the long-standing institution of monarchy, though the financial stakes are admittedly less grand than chasing the British crown. It's, shall we say, a more boutique monarchy. And while royals often grab headlines, let's not forget the American titans. Ariana Rockefeller, an heiress to the fabled Rockefeller fortune, had the proverbial silver spoon from day one. She's had access to not just wealth, but an iPhone contacts list that could make a senator blush. Though her title doesn't begin with princess, the financial privilege of her upbringing rivals that of Charlotte's. And let's not forget, Ariana has the leeway to dabble in businesses with far less public scrutiny. But Europe isn't done with us yet. Enter Princess Elizabeth of Belgium, the Duchess of Brabant. Born in 2001 to King Philippe and Queen Mathilde, she's a future queen in the making. Meticulously groomed for the throne, her public outings might as well be state affairs. Financially, she's more in line with Princess Charlotte, both belonging to European monarchies that aren't exactly swimming in Fort Knox-level reserves. Yet the duo stands to cast a large shadow, affecting global philanthropy, diplomacy, and culture in ways we can only begin to fathom. So here we are, navigating a world where children, born into royalty or colossal wealth, can stir national economies, shift cultural norms, and hold the strings of influence, all before they've mastered cursive writing. Now, on the 2nd of May 2015, London erupted in hues of pink and the thunderous applause of cannon fire to herald the arrival of Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, the daughter of Prince William and Kate Middleton, the Prince and Princess of Cambridge. More than just a birth, the young royal's debut reverberated with key ramifications for the monarchy, and indeed the United Kingdom as a whole. For starters, let's talk about the royal pecking order. Princess Charlotte has the historical distinction of being the first royal princess born in direct line to the throne since Princess Elizabeth, the third daughter of King George III and Queen Charlotte in 1770. Add a dash of modernity in the form of the 2013 succession to the Crown Act, and you have a princess who won't be stepping aside for any younger brothers. She currently stands as third in line for the throne, trailing only her father and her elder brother, Prince George. Speculation abounds, but should Prince George find the task of producing heirs a bit vexing, Princess Charlotte could very well find herself sporting the crown jewels. There are contingencies upon contingencies, of course, but the prospect isn't entirely outside the realm of possibility. Making her public bow during the celebrations for Queen Elizabeth II's 90th birthday in 2016, Princess Charlotte wasted no time leaving her mark on fashion. The consultancy firm Brand Finance, which specializes in brand valuation and strategy out of London, predicts her influence could pump a cool £3.2 billion into the British economy. How, you ask? A phenomenon affectionately referred to as the Princess Charlotte effect. Essentially, once the young royal dons an ensemble, parents scamper to outfit their tots in similar garb, a ripple effect that's taken the fashion industry by a pleasant storm. Forget toddler chic, we're talking about a mini fashion mogul. While still navigating the early years of childhood, Princess Charlotte has indeed cultivated a brand so powerful it's poised to contribute billions to the economy. But wait, there's more. While the world clamours for princess-approved threads, the benefits seep into other industries. Luxury goods, food companies, and even sporting goods are finding themselves basking in the glow of her fashion influence. Retailers aren't just taking notes, they're practically writing dissertations on how to emulate her style, transforming their children into mini Charlottes for every photo op. And while she's already turning nurseries into her personal promotional palace, Princess Charlotte has managed to already begin her education, which most assuredly will also be of the highest quality, much like the threads she dons on the daily. Let's learn a little bit more about how this billion-dollar baby plans to use her schooling to teach us all how to make a few more bucks. In the high-ceilinged halls of Wilcox Nursery School, close to London's regal Kensington Palace, Princess Charlotte embarked on her educational soiree back in 2017. She was a tender 2 years old and, unsurprisingly, cameras flashed and journalists scribbled. Indeed, who doesn't miss their preschool years, when finger painting is as crucial as geopolitics, in a toddler sort of way, of course. The Princess of Wales, Princess Charlotte's mother for those who may not follow the Windsor family flowchart, personally took the photos that introduced the tiny student to the world. Clad in a red coat, accessorized by a fetching pink scarf and a miniature backpack, Princess Charlotte looked as if she were already pondering her first diplomatic mission. The images, warm, charming, disarming, spread like wildfire across social media and news outlets, causing a collective swoon over her youthful allure. But this wasn't just any nursery school. Wilcox Nursery comes with a pedigree, nurturing the creativity and independence of its pint-sized pupils. Clearly, Charlotte's parents, Prince William and Princess Kate, weren't pulling any punches when it came to laying the educational groundwork for their daughter. Additionally, by 2018, Charlotte continued to be an unwitting influencer in the toddler sphere. Whether waving to the crowd from Buckingham Palace's balcony during the Trooping the Colour ceremony, or serving as a bridesmaid at her Uncle Prince Harry's wedding, she continued to garner headlines. The young princess didn't just walk into St. George's Chapel for that wedding. She sashayed in her white dress and flower crown, as if the aisles were her personal runway. Of course, it wasn't all glamour and royal wave tutorials. In 2019, the royal family decided to curtail media exposure for Charlotte, sparking conversations in the digital and literal parlours about the balance between public life and private responsibility. It wasn't an unheard-of move. The family had been keen on privacy before, even going as far as taking legal action against photographers who'd crossed the line with unauthorised snaps of Prince George in 2015. But the limitation on media access also marked a subtle shift in the previously open demeanour of Prince William and Kate, causing some to speculate whether the winds of change were blowing through the royal hallways. With all that said, fashion and education are merely the tip of iceberg when it comes to the future influence Princess Charlotte will have on the world. Next, let's explore the intricate web of financial and social factors that make Princess Charlotte not just a young heiress, but a force to be reckoned with in her own right. In 2021, a 5-year-old preschooler outpaced seasoned magnates and Silicon Valley prodigies, boasting an estimated net worth of £3 billion, according to Brand Finance. We're not talking about a kiddie tech genius or a YouTube sensation, but of course Princess Charlotte herself, coined the Charlotte effect. This intriguing marketplace phenomenon turns anything the young royal touches, be it dresses, shoes, or baby rattles, into consumer gold. Indeed, it's like the Midas touch, but with a millennial twist. Specifically, this trend has roots in the Kate Middleton effect, where her mother's endorsement catalyzes brands into household names overnight. As Charlotte makes more public appearances, cheerful waves here, cute fascinators there, retailers can't keep her endorsed items in stock. But let's pump the brakes on the financial fairy tale for a moment. Princess Charlotte, being underage, technically doesn't have her own net worth. The billions attributed to her are a notional construct, extrapolated from her potential influence on consumer markets. Most of the royal family's actual assets stem from the Crown estate, a property portfolio managed separately and boasting jaw-dropping assets like Buckingham Palace. With such a robust financial backbone, the family enjoys more than just tea and crumpets. Think vast landholdings, an illustrious horse racetrack, and a curated art collection that could make the Louvre blush. But don't let the absence of a personal bank account for Charlotte mislead you. Her financial clout has teeth, because, legally speaking, the royal family is no slouch when it comes to safeguarding their brand equity. For example, in 2015, Mario Testino, the photographer extraordinaire, was summoned to capture official portraits of the young princess. A dedicated legal team tirelessly works to protect the royals' intellectual property, and the name Princess Charlotte of Cambridge has already been trademarked, covering an array of goods and services from attire to education. What does this mean for the pint-sized princess's fiscal future? A few avenues come to mind. First, consider real estate and art collections. Leveraging the family's extensive property holdings and art collections as assets could be a long game, providing steady passive income and appreciation value over time. Similarly, jumping into luxury goods could be a play for the princess. Indeed, given her market impact, Princess Charlotte could indirectly steer investment into brands she endorses, particularly in the high-end consumer sector. Lastly, think about charitable foundations. Like her ancestors, Charlotte could establish philanthropic organizations, turning her formidable influence into a force for good worldwide. So, while most children her age ponder the complexities of the playground, Princess Charlotte will soon grapple with a different sort of jungle, the global marketplace. It's less monkey bars, more commodity futures. Though she might be too young to understand her fiscal prowess, one thing is clear: the Charlotte effect is not child's play. Yet, while it's tempting to cast this scrutiny as part and parcel of palace life, the consequences are far from superficial. Looking back at the many child stars whose fame and fortune lead to trauma and disappointment in later life, let's investigate the ethical questions regarding having such a young child constantly in the public eye. In order to grasp what's at stake in the realms of fame and fortune for young Princess Charlotte, you must picture this: endless photographers hungry for the tiniest gesture, be it a grin or a grimace. Indeed, Charlotte faces the kind of celebrity most adults would find daunting. It's an incessant, unyielding surveillance that few adults, let alone a young child, are fully equipped to manage. And then there's the ethical maze to navigate. Yes, the princess is wrapped in a cocoon of extraordinary privilege, replete with the sort of opulence that most people can only fantasize about. But it's precisely this comfort that generates moral quandaries. On one hand, there's the glaring issue of disparity. How can one so young live in such luxury while others lack the basic essentials? Despite the family's philanthropic efforts, it's a question that, like an unwanted guest, refuses to leave the room. But hold the phone before we turn the young royal into an archetype of privilege or a case study in social ethics. Let's not forget she's still a child. Growing pains, sibling rivalry, and the general awkwardness of youth are her unfortunate birthright, just as much as the tiara. As for what lies ahead, it's as clear as the London fog. When her father ascends the throne, Princess Charlotte will likely assume the title of Princess Royal, adding another layer of prestige and responsibility to an already multifaceted existence. Her foothold in the fashion industry isn't likely to wane either. Brands are queuing up for the Charlotte endorsement, and why not? A nod from the young princess can turn a profit faster than you can say crown jewels. The image crafting won't stop at the palace gates either. The Princess of Wales, herself a master of diplomacy and fashion, often opts for affordable clothing choices for Charlotte. The intent? To make the family seem touchable, relatable, words not traditionally synonymous with British royalty. But the media giveth, and the media taketh away. For every accolade praising the family's down-to-earth image, a counter-argument exists that perhaps there's a carefully calibrated strategy to control how far Charlotte's fashion influence actually extends. While her national and international roles are yet to be scripted, one thing is certain: Princess Charlotte will continue to be a person of influence, both in the realm of fashion and as a representative of the UK on the world stage. However, let's not forget, underneath it all, she's still figuring out who she wants to be, just like any other child. And now we'd love to see you in the comments. Should the media be more cautious in covering the lives of young royals to protect their privacy? We'd be fascinated to hear your response. And if you enjoyed our coverage here, feel free to click the video on screen to watch our deep dive on the centuries-long history of Princess Charlotte's family, the Windsors, from their origins in Germany all the way up to the present day. We'll see you there, or in the community below. Thanks again for watching Old Money Luxury, and cheers until next time.